Hey, what's up, y'all, and welcome to episode 111 of the Take One podcast. I am your host, August C. Jones, and so on this episode, we're going to go ahead and jump into some trailer reviews as well as movie reviews. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So, not known to me, I really am kind of like off the grid as far as this week because I didn't even know that there was a teaser trailer for Child's Play, the new Child's Play that dropped earlier this week. And I was not hip to knowing that the first Child's Play official trailer was going to drop before the movie Prodigy, which I don't know if a lot of people knew, but it really was not like in my radar. So I was shocked when I saw The Prodigy, which I am going to review on this episode as well. When I saw it and I saw the first trailer to Child's Play, and I'm like, hold on, am I tripping? I looked on YouTube, it wasn't on there last night, it's not on here today, and I'm just like kind of scratching my head. I'm like, okay, it's weird that they would, announce that it is coming out. The trailer is dropping before the, movie of The Prodigy and not even release it the next day. But more than likely, they're going to release it later on today. But in any case, what did I think of the trailer? The trailer was actually pretty good. I'm kind of sketchy on the fact that they're ditching the whole, supernatural thing and going toward I guess you could say, more modern take of the Chucky doll, which is technology. I guess chips gone wrong and whatever the hell. And it's instead of like a serial killer putting his body inside of a doll, it's technology gone wrong. And I don't know, like, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm not just going to like just totally just, throw it away and be like, oh my God, like they going completely off the reservation and they're not being true to the original and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to see what they're working with. Because who knows? Any movie that has a bad premise can end up being truly good, or what we think may be a bad premise or just something bad right off the bat. And even though I don't really kind of like, I don't know. I don't find it, I don't know. I really don't like them straying off so much from what the original movie did. I would have liked for them to stick to the whole thing of transferring the souls and stuff. But I mean, because like that gave a good premise as to why, Charles wanted to get inside, well, let me not even say that, but put his soul inside of Andy's body. And that was a good concept. Like, that was the reason why he was constantly after Andy. That way he would be able to have his soul inside of a live body. And with this one, it's like, what's the motive behind Chucky? He can't put his soul inside of there because he's a machine. So that's the only thing. And it's like, if that is the case of like just technology going wrong, it's like, if they're planning on like maybe having a sequel, where would it go from there? But I don't know too much about the plot or anything. I haven't seen the movie, so I can't really make too many speculations on it because I really can't see where they're going unless I actually see it. But the trailer is just basically, it doesn't really show anything. It really doesn't. It doesn't even show Chucky's face. It just has a lot of scenes where, things are happening. It kind of show a little bit of like, them bringing, manufacturing Chucky. I'm going off of memory. Okay, so bear with me. The trailer hasn't came out online yet, so I couldn't like rewatch it and catch certain things, but it was just a lot of scenes of just stuff that was happening. It was more kind of like a teaser trailer in a sense, but it was more of a trailer than what we got earlier this week. And it actually looked pretty, I don't know. It looked interesting. I can't really judge too much on it. It really looked interesting. It got a lot of, just a lot of things happening. You don't really see killing. You don't see Chucky's face. You don't hear his voice or anything like that. And it shows the kid that gets the doll and stuff. And it shows dolls all over the place at like a toy store or whatnot. And it looked like something that I might end up wanting to check out. I don't like. I have a really sneaky suspicion that this movie may not end up being good, but I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt that it possibly, maybe, end up, being like really good. So, hey, we'll see. But like I said, I was shocked to know that the trailer dropped, and I knew I was tweaking because I'm like, I didn't hear anything about this. But yeah, it's up here, and I looked on YouTube, and it's not on there yet. So, hey, I mean, when it comes out, maybe I give a little bit better of an analysis on it. But I am looking forward to checking this movie out more than I was before. And so let's go ahead and jump to the next trailer review, which is the movie Shaft. Now, I put out a episode 110 of the Take One podcast where I'm running down, all just to look forward in the films of this year, even though it's late as hell or whatever. And I mentioned the movie Shaft and how it doesn't have a trailer and how I can't really speak on it. Well, at the time of my recording that, I didn't know that the trailer had dropped, I think not too long before it or whatever the hell. So, I mean, it's whatever. But the trailer dropped regardless, and I got a chance to look at it, and it looks, I don't know, it looks like it's worth checking out. You have 3 generations of Shaft in the movie. You got Samuel L. Jackson back, and then you got the name that eludes me, that plays his father and that plays his son, but I'm gonna look it up. But the trailer shows that the movie is going toward a action kind of comedy film, and I mean Samuel L. Jackson, he thrives off that. He really does thrive. I mean, Samuel L. Jackson, he is a great actor. So, I mean, you put him in a dramatic role, comedy, he's going to kill it. He is going to kill it. And I don't know, the trailer really didn't sell me too much, but it got me kind of I may give it a try. Jesse Usher, who plays his son up in there. And then you got Richard Roundtree, who plays his father. So you got all these actors together, and it looks like Richard Roundtree, which I believe he is. Is he playing I'm not really particularly sure with the continuity of the older Shafts and then the Samuel L. Jackson movie that came out in 2014 or something. I'm gonna look it up, but and then this movie, is it all connecting? Or it came out in 2000. Samuel L. Jackson Shaft movie came out in 2000. I don't know. I believe that they all are connected, with the older ones, with the Samuel L. Jackson one, of course this one, because it got Samuel L. Jackson in it, and then it got the guy who originally played Shaft. So I'm guessing it's all connected, and I think that's pretty cool. I really do. I thought that this may end up being a remake at first, but they ended up saying that his son was going to be involved, and then bam. But, I mean, you got Alexandria Shipp up in there, and she is always a beautiful thing to look at. But it looks like it may end up being a sleeper comedy for me. Because I'm not really too in tune with, or get too excited with seeing comedies. But it looked like a movie that I would be I don't really expect too much from it. And then leaving out this was way better than what I thought. But it looked like the comedy in the trailer didn't really work for me too much. I didn't find myself laughing a lot. I cracked a smile or whatnot, but it wasn't anything that really got me on board with I'm definitely going to go see this. It wasn't anything like that. Maybe the other trailers that drop after it may end up getting me more on board. But as of right now, I'm sold by just having Samuel L. Jackson up in there, and it looks like he's having a good time with it. And I don't know. It looked like it may be interesting. I don't know. But in any case, let's jump to the last trailer and trailer reviews. And that is the Pet Sematary second trailer. I still haven't seen the original Pet Sematary. And of course, I have not read the book at all. So, yeah. But looking at this, I'm more inclined to, seeing this. It looks like it's good. I did like the first trailer. Even though I didn't do a trailer review on the podcast, I still like the first trailer. I really did. I didn't know too much of what's going on in the trailer. It looks kind of freaky and weird. And that's where this second trailer is as well. It's kind of freaky and weird. I did read up that they're going to have a different twist than they did in the original movie, and I guess in the book or whatever the heck. So it's going to give us a little bit of a different flavor with this new incarnation, this new vision of Pet Sematary. And because I don't know how the first, movie ended, or the original movie ended, I can't really say, where can they go with this? This is so weird. I can only just report what I've heard and read and everything else and just hope for the best, But it does look like it's going to be creepy and scary as hell. Maybe a little weird. Hopefully not too weird to where it takes me out of that, because I don't do well with psychological thrillers and all that stuff. And if it's too weird, I just can't get into it. It's like I'm an old-fashioned dude. I really like not too many jump scares, but I do like regular, just classic type of horror. If you can scare me and creep me out, I'm feeling the movie. You have a great concept behind it, acting and everything else. I'm into it, And this movie looks like it has that, where it has that old-fashioned type of like horror where it may use the environment and everything else and just the creepiness of like just what the subject matter is. And hopefully it does it, but a lot of times a new incarnation of a movie may end up not catching the spirit of the original, or just favoring or catering to the newer generation and what they expect in their horror films. So I don't know, but in any case, I'm interested in seeing this movie. I do like horror films, so I've already said that several times on the podcast and everything else. So definitely, I am going to go check this out. I'm the type of weirdo that will watch a scary movie in a room alone with the lights off, because I want the full effect. So seeing it in the movie theater, lights off, and if it's truly scary, yeah, you got me on board. But the trailer was looking crazy. You got the daughter coming back to life and everything else, and it's showing more of that than it did in the original trailer or the first trailer or whatnot. And yeah, I'm on board. I'm not excited, but I am on board with seeing this movie. But in any case, let's go ahead and leave trailer reviews and jump right into movie reviews. Now, I seen 2 movies last night, which is What Men Want and The Prodigy. I know I said on the last podcast that I was going to do The Kid Who Would Be King and everything else. I'm going to do those separately. But I figured since I just seen these movies, I might as well go ahead and put out the review and just go from there. So the first movie I will be reviewing in this segment is What Men Want. Now, What Men Want is kind of, it's the new film from that's starring Taraji P. Henson, and it's going off the premise of What Women Want, which is the Mel Gibson movie or whatever, to where Taraji P. Henson's character gets hit in the head and she's able to hear the inner thoughts of men, and so she's trying to struggle with how to go about using this newfound power to her benefit. And then of course things go wrong and blah blah blah. The whole premise of a movie like this and everything else. And I want to say that I didn't have too much expectations for it. I expected it to be funny, but I didn't expect to be like dying laughing and stuff. And it met my expectations. I'll say it didn't exceed it, it met it, because I didn't really expect too much of it, just to me to find some entertainment out of it, and I truly did. I really did. Taraji P. Henson, she is a great actress. She excels in a lot of the roles that she does. Proud Mary was the only role that I've seen her in where I was just like, throw the whole movie away. But she picked it up with acrimony, and then this movie. She does well in dramas and comedies, and just stuff kind of like Empire and stuff of that nature. So as long as she stick to that and go from there, she's good. She did carry this movie really good. Of course, credible as the lead. Everybody around her, all the other supporting characters, you got Tracy Morgan up in there, who is essentially playing Tracy Morgan. You know, he is an eccentric type dude who just basically he's ghetto, but he has a good heart and everything else. And so she plays a person, Taraji P. Henson's character, who is a sports agent, and she's trying to land different clients, and just how she uses her power to get, you know, certain people and do certain things. It is entertaining, it's funny, and it's funny as hell and all that stuff. And I really did like it. The concept of it, it's a good concept. It's been used before, but yeah, it's a good concept. And it's a concept that is funny when used properly. That you could take it so many places and do so many things with it. And they did a lot with it in this movie. They really did stretch it out and take it to where they could take it. And I really did appreciate that. The one thing that I could say about this movie that I can count against it is that the comedy, and it's not really too bad, but the comedy is hit or miss. It was mainly miss, but you do have a few hits. I was laughing at a few parts in this movie, and I was smiling. It was entertaining, but everything wasn't, you know, organic. A lot of the humor seemed really forced, but not too much that it took me out the movie and made it less entertaining. At the end of the day, this movie is worth seeing. It's worth your money. I would say it is worth a repeat viewing. It's that good. I would say that if you were interested in seeing this movie, definitely go check it out. It is worth checking out. I'm pretty sure if you like Taraji P. Henson movies, or you just a fan of comedies, or just black comedies, if you're that type of person, you will really enjoy this. I give this movie a 7. Definitely go check it out. Now, the next movie and movie reviews is The Prodigy. The Prodigy is starring Taylor Schilling. I was going to make sure that I said that name right. So, it's about a couple who has a kid who has extraordinary abilities, or just has an extraordinary ability, which is his intellect, his intelligence. And he is far advanced than any other kid around his age. And so with them noticing that he is smart, they start to notice something more sinister is happening with their son, and have to figure out what it is and how to stop it. The classic story. The concept of this is crazy good. It was something that I probably would have never came up, or not even came up with, but thought of as far as a movie. This movie seemed like it was the type to, you know, take on the mask of a possession and stuff, and it's really kind of not that. It's something more. I'm not really going to give it away, but once you see the beginning of the movie, you kind of like put the pieces together, in which I did. So, but I'll just leave that to you guys when you see the movie, or if you see the movie. The concept of it is really good. I like the story and how everything progressed. The beginning of it kind of rushed things, but I could see why they did it. But I don't know, it just kind of stood out to me as far as that. The acting was really good up in there. Taylor Schilling did good as the main character, and even the boy, like the kid who plays what's his name? Oh my gosh, I'm bad with memory, but the kid actor up in there, he does phenomenal in there. There was no point in the movie where I'm like, this kid just nah. But being like as prominent of a role as he is in the movie, he did excellent. He did really good. I didn't go into this movie expecting him to do bad, but I was surprised when I'm like, yo, this kid, he pulls off being a regular kid as well as being just this sinister, scary, creepy type of kid. And I like that. I really did like that. And everything that he had to do up in there, he killed it. So, yeah, if you don't go see this movie for anything else, just go to see it to see this kid, because he does an amazing job. This movie is creepy as hell. It does play off of the environment, which does have a flaw, and I'm going to get to it in the negatives. But it does play off of that. It has a few jump scares, but it doesn't go crazy with it. There were a few horror tropes that I could like point out that were like just corny and cliche, but it does the creepy factor really well. And this movie is predictable, but it's unpredictable. It sets up something to where it's like you would think that, you know, everything's going to end predictably and all this stuff, but then it, you know, I'm not saying ends, whatever, but, you know, it sets up something that looks predictable, but then when you get the result of it, it's unpredictable. It's like, okay, I like the way they went with this, but like I said, at the same time, it's predictable and unpredictable. You'll see what I'm saying when you go see it. The only thing is that I really didn't like about this movie is that scary movies, it's one thing I don't like about scary movies, and it's very small, but scary movies have this thing about being in the dark. And there's a lot of scenes where characters are walking in dark rooms, you know, and it's like, cut on the light. You know, I get you trying to be scary, but why is it realistic for a person to walk through a dark house looking for something and you're not cutting on the lights? And it's just like, I get you trying to sell the environment, the scariness of it, but it's just, no, it's unrealistic. And that's what really took me out. Is like, I'm in the theater, like, cut on the light. And then it's a scene where I'm not going to get specific, but a character is supposed to be doing something. Realistically, supposed to be doing something in this one scene that kind of like, I don't know how to put it, but something that's happening in the scene where a character, if this was real life, would be doing something that just kind of like would help him in the situation, and he's not doing it. And I'm like, aren't you supposed to be doing that? Why aren't you? And it's just like, just threw it. I'm just like, okay, yeah. But and then this movie, once it comes to the realization of what everything is, it's kind of like, okay, we already knew this. You know, you basically discovered this, but now you come to the realization that this is what this is, and it's like, duh. I mean, there was no big reveal or anything like that. It just came to a realization, and I'm just like, okay, you know, we already knew this, but whatever. And it's just certain things like that just kind of took me out the movie, but not too much to where I didn't enjoy it. And it did have a lot about it that I did enjoy, that I did like, that really made me not, you know, come out the theater and be like, this is worth my time. This is worth my time. And speaking of that, it is worth your time and money to go see this movie. And I would say it has a repeat reviewing type of like feel to it. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing this movie again because it was good enough for that. And you will find it scary, creepy, and everything else. And it's a good horror film. It does its job as a horror film. And with that, I give it an 8 rating. I know it's not doing too well on Rotten Tomatoes with like a 54% last time I checked, but I really did come out of this really liking it, and I think a lot of you guys, if you like horror films and stuff, you'll probably end up really liking this film. It's not by far one of the best horror films I've seen in like years, but it is exceptional. It is an exceptional type of like a horror film, which I think a lot of people will get stuff out of. So check it out. And with that, that ends this episode of the Take One Podcast, episode 111. And I thank you guys for listening, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Hey, before you guys leave, make sure you hit that like button as well as that subscribe button. And you see that little bell, make sure you hit that to turn on your notifications. That way you'll be notified for anything that appears on my channel. Hope to see you guys next time. Peace out.